Everyone is amazed by how incredible Rockstar Games titles look, and this is thanks to the famous graphics engine, Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, also known as RAGE. But have you ever wondered about the history of this graphics engine? Because for the first GTAs, a different engine was used, not this one. So that's what we're going to see in this video. We'll create a timeline exploring the Rage engine's origins to understand its current state with the upcoming GTA 6. Before we begin, if you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe and hit the like button. It's a great way to support the channel and consequently a motivation for me to keep making videos like this. So, without much more to say, let's begin. Let's begin by telling the story of all this, going back to the year 1993. That year, a division of the Canon brand, named Criterion Software, later known as Criterion Games, developed what was called Renderware, a graphics engine designed for game development on consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube, and also for creating games on PC. It was an engine that was easy for developers to use, whether for its interface, its multi-platform support, or its wide variety of tools. It was then that Rockstar Games opted for this graphics engine, which allowed them to generate enormous worlds, good optimization, great graphics for the era, and good vehicle physics, all together creating amazing games. But everything changed in 2004, when Electronic Arts acquired Criterion Games for approximately $48 million. This had major consequences for Renderware and its users, as that acquisition made the graphics engine's rights exclusive to Electronic Arts, a key competitor of Take-Two Interactive. Consequently, Rockstar did not have a graphics engine with which to develop its games. Regardless of the Criterion Games acquisition, the Renderware engine began to show technical limitations, failing to fully exploit the console's capabilities. And we also had to consider that the new console generation was approaching, leading many studios to seek alternatives to this engine. A curious fact is that within GTA 4's files, there are screenshots believed to have been made with this graphics engine, suggesting that its development with said engine was initially considered. But while all this was happening, and before the whole Renderware story, we have to go back to the 70s, which is when Diego Angel, a Colombian man who had studied to be a film director, became interested in 2D animation, since 3D animation was very limited at that time. But towards the end of his degree, he became interested in the emerging 3D technology. He trained himself, and that's how, in the year 1984, Angel decided to found Angel Studios, a company focused on computer animation and visual effects. Initially, Angel Studios primarily focused on film and television production. One of their most well-known projects was the Ten Lumumba film, for which they provided visual effects assistance. Then, in the early 1990s, Angel Studios recognized an opportunity to venture into the world of video games, collaborating with major brands such as Nintendo and Sega. It was then that the years began to pass, and they wanted to launch their own games. And it was then, around the year 1996 or 1997, that development began on their first arcade game, called Savage Quest, for which they developed their own graphics engine named AGE, or by its full name, Angel Studios Engine. This game served as the engine's base and test, with the goal of perfecting it for future games. While this was happening, the studio worked on a Resident Evil 2 port for Nintendo 64, which was considered a total triumph and a feat. It's not relevant for the video's development, but it's an interesting fact. It was then that, after the company's first game was released, they now wanted to venture into the world of racing. So, at the dawn of the new millennium, they began developing a game called Midtown Madness 1 and 2, a racing title. The Age engine allowed for a semi-open world, realistic vehicle physics, and quite good performance for its time. Following the success of these titles, Take-Two Interactive also wanted their own racing games from Angel Studios, leading to the Midnight Club franchise. This game marked the start of the relationship between Take-Two and also with Rockstar Games, because even though Angel Studios developed the entire game, the publisher was none other than Rockstar Games. And in Sam Houser's own words, "I love Angel Studios. I think Diego is a great man, he runs a great company, and I'm very impressed with the dedication in those high-quality games." This showed the great appreciation he had for the Houser brothers, both Diego and the company. Around the year 2002, Angel spoke of selling his company to various companies, among which was Rockstar Games. Initially, Rockstar was only looking to acquire the graphics engine to replace renderware. They proposed it to Angel, but he rejected it until they presented him with another offer in which they would acquire the studio. But Angel would have creative freedom to do whatever he wanted. Thus, on November 20th, 2002, Take-Two acquired Angel Studios for a total of $29 million in cash, plus $12 million in stock and royalties, making the total purchase price $41 million. This acquisition led to Angel Studios being renamed Rockstar San Diego. A year later, Rockstar began reviewing the projects Angel Studios had before being acquired, and there was one that caught the company's attention: Red Dead Revolver. In 1999, after the successful Resident Evil 2 port, Capcom aimed to diversify their games. One was a Western-themed title, Red Dead Revolver. However, development proved so chaotic that it was cancelled in mid-2002. Thus, when Rockstar acquired Angel Studios, they believed the game had enormous potential. It was rescued, and they decided to complete its development. This game once again used the Age engine, which they had to improve, as it was an engine meant for racing games. Character animations were improved, a shooting system was refined, and it was re-optimized to enhance performance on PS2 and Xbox. But at the same time, this engine did have some clear limitations. Although animations did improve, they were somewhat stiff when compared to other games. Also, though it might sound a bit crazy, the engine could not support an open world. That's why Red Dead Revolver was linear and didn't have an open world like a GTA could. Also, the graphics, though good, weren't as impressive as renderware or other engines, so there was still room for improvement. Around this same time, Rockstar San Diego began developing a game called Agent, for which models exist, and you already know which game it is, because it's the same one announced in 2009. Red Dead Revolver was the final game developed with the Age engine. This title coincided with the renderware problem. So it was in 2004 that it was decided to establish that the Age engine would become the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, also known as Rage, dedicating an entire team to develop it and make it suitable for the creation of Rockstar Games titles. Amidst all of this, in 2005, Angel departed from the studio, leaving a truly significant mark on Rockstar. However, development pressed on, and in the year 2006, Rockstar Games chose to launch a title named Rockstar Games Presents Table Tennis, which functioned as both a test and the official debut of the Rage engine. You might be asking yourselves, why a ping-pong game and not a Grand Theft Auto title? The answer to that is they wanted to demonstrate the engine's versatility, showing how it not only works in open worlds, but also across various other genres. Additionally, being a more contained game, it allowed the team to focus on optimizing Rage's core capabilities and, as we mentioned, serve as a technical test for future titles. This engine in 2006 surprised many and proved to the Rockstar team that it was very good. They also decided to integrate dynamic animations with Natural Motion's Euphoria system. So, with all this approved, they improved many more aspects of this engine, and in 2008, GTA 4 was released with what is believed to be Rage 2. Although they improved what Rage 1 had, Rage 2 had problems with its optimization, an issue that wasn't present previously. Even so, it was widely considered one of the top 10 graphics engines of that generation. During these years, let's also remember that Bully 2's development began, and its use of Rage was revealed through GTA 5's source code. Years went by, and Rockstar kept releasing games with each new installment utilizing an updated version of Rage. A very unique case, in fact, occurred with Lanoir. While Rockstar Games is the publisher, the company that developed it was another one called Team Bondi. This game emerged around 2004, and a year later, they had an agreement with Rockstar for it to be its publisher. Team Bondi used the Rage engine throughout its development, borrowed from Rockstar, and this game implemented another technology on top of the engine called Motion Scan, which allowed for very credible facial animations. But the topic of L.A. Noire could be for another video, as its development was very chaotic. Until in 2013, another installment of the Grand Theft Auto franchise was released, which is believed to use Rage 7. And finally, Rockstar's last major game was Red Dead Redemption 2, which is believed to be using the Rage 8 version. until, well, we reach 2025, and the next Rockstar Games title will be GTA 6, which various people in the industry say will utilize Rage 9. Just to clarify, the Rage versions, by number, were assigned by users, not Rockstar. It's obvious GTA 6 uses Rage, but Rage 9 is the version they're believed to be using. This graphics engine version is said to be revolutionary for gaming, and I think there's already proof. We'll be discussing some particularities of this supposed version. The lighting in sky, specifically the volumetric clouds, a system included in Red Dead Redemption 2, return in this version. It will feature ray tracing, highly advanced reflections, parallax interiors, enhanced vegetation. Smoke appears to be volumetric, as does the fog. The water physics are very spectacular, and its graphics have improved significantly compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. Hair, some necklaces and bracelets have their own physics. The population density seems to be much higher than in previous games. Vehicle explosions are more realistic and cinematic, and many more details show the arduous work they are doing with this version of the Rage engine. Additionally, we know that throughout all these years, Take-Two has been acquiring patents that appear to be used in GTA 6. We were able to see these very well detailed in this video I already uploaded in the past. With several months remaining until the game's launch, development is still ongoing. And while the fundamental parts of the so-called Rage 9 have already been introduced, who knows how much more improved it could be for the final version? Let's remember that Rockstar games always show graphics that end up better than what was seen in the trailer. So that's how we saw the history of the Rage engine and its evolution up to the present day. I just want to remind you all that if you enjoy this type of content, I really encourage you to subscribe and also hit that like button. So then, without much more to say for now, I will see you all in the next video.